Welcome to our first ever national event for Heart Walk, Cycle Nation, and Field Day companies, sponsors, and volunteers from across the nation. It is so important to maintain a sense of connectivity and community during this time of distancing. That is why we are coming together today as one heartbeat. This year has challenged us to reimagine our work, and you have demonstrated great resiliency, ushering in our mission forward in new ways. Although we are physically apart, we are more united than ever. Because of you, we are continuing to improve the health of all people in the United States and around the world, especially heart and stroke patients and under-resourced populations who are at greater risk for heart disease and stroke. COVID-19 has created a surge in demand for our science, education, and programs, and we have rapidly responded. We have funded $2.5 million in rapid research grants to study the impact of COVID-19 on patients with underlying health conditions like heart disease and diabetes. We have launched a nationwide COVID-19 data registry for health systems to collect and study data that will help researchers and healthcare providers understand this disease and save lives. We have developed a national Don't Die of Doubt awareness campaign to urge people to trust their hospitals and call 911 at the first sign of a medical emergency. These are unprecedented times, but today we come together as one community. Today we come together with one heartbeat for you. Thank you for your commitment and your continued support. I hope you enjoy the program.
Thanks, Nancy, for the warm welcome. My name is Tony Covington, and in case you couldn't tell, I am excited to be here with the American Heart Association and to serve as your host for the next half hour. I know I'm not alone in saying that I could sure use a pep talk right now. It's tough times, and I don't think we need any more reminders about that. So the goal today is to give you a recharge, something to think about, something that inspires you. I hope you'll feel uplifted and empowered after our time together. The American Heart Association gets that too, so they've created a series of motivational and inspirational videos and podcasts just like the one you're listening to today. All right, we want you to go to heart.org/1heartbeat to help you stay focused, healthy, and motivated. So be sure to check them out. Today, we're focusing on the power of resilience. As a former NFL player, I know the importance of being able to bounce back from failure, from losses, from setbacks, because in the end, it's all about perspective. In just a minute, we're going to hear from some stellar athletes who landed at the very top of their games, about how resiliency and gratitude played a major role in their careers and in their health. I recognize that we may not all make the cut when it comes to being an Olympian or a Super Bowl champion, but I think you'll find their journeys energizing and empowering. Here's my ask of you. Let the conversation over the next 30 minutes allow you to live in the moment. Let this be a mental reset and let the wisdom shared fuel your success. This moment is for you. But before I introduce today's panelists, I want to introduce Dr. Watkins, Chief Medical Officer and Vice President of Kroger. Dr. Watkins oversees all medical related aspects for Kroger, from clinical programs to strategic health, wellness, and more. He earned his medical degree at Meharry Medical College with the help of a U.S. Navy scholarship, and he also served in the U.S. Marines. Dr. Watkins, thank you for being here.
Tony, thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here with you today. Really enjoyed your opening comments about resiliency, and just for the audience, that's the definition, is the ability to bounce back from a difficult or life-changing event like a chronic disease and like this pandemic we're facing. When people are better able to withstand, adapt, and to recover from adversity, when they're able to make healthy choices. And I'm going to speak a little bit about what we've been doing at Kroger, and specifically at Kroger Health, around resiliency. We have about 500,000 associates around the country, and given specific training to our managers to be able to recognize when there is some anxiety and things that are happening in our workforce, and to offer tips and strategies to help people cope during these trying times. And so one of them is food, and understanding the power of food. And I'm sure the athletes that are on this chat today and this panel will be able to also maybe emphasize some of the things that they've done to overcome challenging events. But when anxiety affects roughly about 40 million people in this country, about 18%, represents about 18% of the population, could have some anxiety. And just for the audience, it's a persistent worry that lasts for days to weeks to months. Food, and especially food as medicine, is one of the things that we're doing at Kroger Health, and really helping people to understand the importance of a good, healthy diet. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about is that when we're thinking about comfort food, and especially times like these, it may be reassuring to reach for an unhealthy bag of chips, maybe your cookies or those types of things. However, we know that there are better choices to make to help us feel more calm during these uncertain times. One of them is simply more of these complex carbohydrates. They help you have a much slower rise in your blood sugar. That can have a really calming effect as well. We also know that eating a balanced diet right now is very, very healthy. And so let me give you a couple of examples in the short time that we have of types of foods that can help reduce and maybe even slow down anxiety. So things like magnesium, they're rich in foods like legumes, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Food rich in zinc like oysters or cashews, and beef and egg yolks can also lower anxiety. We also know that other foods like salmon, high in omega-3 fatty acids, can help improve feelings of anxiety and sometimes even panic. We also know that foods rich in vitamin B, such as almonds and avocados, can help as well. These foods we know help spur the important chemicals in your brain, like serotonin and dopamine, to have, again, a calming effect. We also know the really importance of a healthy gut as well. And so things like probiotics can really help to fuel that. So kombucha and those types of things like even kimchi can help. So reach for that maybe during these times. And then also simple things like beans, fruits, and berries can also be very, very helpful during this time as well. Nuts and then vegetables like artichokes, kale, spinach, beets, and broccoli. For any more information that if folks may have, I know that there's wonderful resources on American Heart on their website. Also at krogerhealth.com, we have lots of good information as well. And as a final comment, before I close out, understanding that during these trying times, all of us can experience COVID fatigue. I am certainly at that point. We're not out of the woods yet. And understanding that it is normal to feel anxious, overwhelmed during this time, but look for places and look for folks that you can trust to discuss things, have an ability to continue your routines with exercise and a good, healthy diet. Those things will help us get through this. And remember to continue to follow the advice of local public health authorities during this time.
Thank you, Dr. Watkins. We really appreciate having you here. So now that I know what to eat, beans, fruits, and berries, I need to just back away from the chocolate chip cookies. Okay, check. Got it. All right.
Everything in moderation, Tony.
Understood. Now I want to turn to the all-star athletes I mentioned earlier. Please join me in welcoming three-time Super Bowl champion and NFL broadcasting veteran Mark Schlereth. He's currently a Fox analyst, but is a former NFL Pro Bowler who, prior to joining Fox, served as an ESPN studio analyst for 16 years. Nicknamed The Stink, Mark was selected by the Washington Redskins in the 10th round of the 1989 NFL Draft and enjoyed a 12-year professional career as a guard before retiring in 2001. After some 29 injuries, wow, 29. He spent 6 seasons with the Washington Redskins and 6 with the Denver Broncos and was named to the Pro Bowl in 1991 and 1998. Welcome aboard, Mark. Also, we have 3-time Olympic gold medalist, former women's national team soccer player, motivational speaker, Heather Mitts. She's a former professional soccer defender and played college soccer for the University of Florida. And thereafter, she played professionally in the Women's Professional Soccer League for the Philadelphia Charge, the Boston Breakers, the Philadelphia Independence, and the Atlanta Beat. She is a 3-time Olympic gold medalist and was a member of the U.S. women's national team. She played in 4 matches in the 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup. USA, USA, USA. Oh, sorry, Heather. I got it. Yeah, I had a flashback. Sorry. Thank you guys for joining me here today. Hi. First, how are you guys holding up?
Heather,
great.
Let's go.
Oh, okay. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today, obviously.
And how about
Yeah,
you?
things are good. Things are good for me, Tony and Heather. Things are great. You know, I get to spend a lot of time with my granddaughters, which is just an absolute blast for me. So we've just kind of been hunkered down and hanging out and at the pool and doing our thing. So it's been wonderful to have that time where I've been off the road and got to kind of spend that time with them.
Sounds great. You know, I think I've learned to control what I can control, which is my attitude, my effort, and my output, and then not worry about the rest and just stay safe. I think that's kind of my modus operandi right now. So, all right, you know what? Hey, guys, let's dive in. Mark, you have said often that people see the destination, the Super Bowl, the 3 Super Bowl wins, but not the journey. What do you mean by that? And can you speak to the power of seizing the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, everybody goes through issues. Everybody has their set of circumstances, a set of problems that present themselves. Anytime you have any modicum of success, you're going to have some adversity along the way. And, you know, I always look at my own college career. I was retired as a junior in college. I was out of football. I actually signed papers to limit the University of Idaho's liability towards me as an injury risk so I could come back and play my senior year. And I switched positions from the defensive side of the ball to the offensive side of the ball. Like, I had no interest. I had no agent, no interest. And a good friend of mine who played at the University of Idaho with me invited me to one of his workouts, pro scouts workouts. And I used to just crash his workouts. And I used to beg professional scouts just to take a look at me. And that's how I got myself into the National Football League. And the great part of this whole destination process, if it wasn't for my buddy Marvin Washington, I would have never played in the National Football League. But after we won in Denver, Super Bowl 32, Mike Shanahan came to me and said, "Hey, we need to sign a rotational defensive lineman. We need a guy that not only can play, but more importantly, fits our culture, fits the culture of the Denver Broncos." So he gave me a list, this piece of paper, and said, "Here's 7 guys. You've been in the league forever. Tell me which guy fits us." And I look at the list, and there's Marvin Washington. I said, "Sign him. He's our guy." And so we signed Marvin Washington and ended up winning a Super Bowl together. So my college teammate that sacrificed for me during this journey, right? During the journey, sacrificed for me that I might have a chance to play in the National Football League. We ended up winning a Super Bowl together as University of Idaho teammates for the Denver Broncos. So, you know, you don't get to see that journey. All you see is that championship. But man, if it wasn't for Marvin, I would have never played and fulfilled my childhood dream of playing in the National Football League.
Wow, that's awesome, man. And it just speaks to the team concept. I have an acronym for team. Together, excellence always materializes, because it is truly about the team. So Heather, so take us back where you're thinking retirement, making the Olympic team is now or never again. You're battling injuries. Share with us what mindset it took to succeed when the pressure was on.
Yeah, well, I think retiring would have been the easy thing for me to do after the World Cup, because I knew it would be a lot harder to go from a roster of 21 to 18. But I wasn't ready. So I wanted to give it one last shot. And I had a lot of injuries towards the end. And in the beginning of every single national team camp, we have what's called the beep test. And so I knew that I could control my mindset on that. You know, I knew what the goal was that day, that I wanted to break. And so it was 56. And in my mind, I wanted to get to 58. And so I put my head down. When that beep went off, I was like, I'm not stopping till I get there. And so as I'm getting closer and closer to 56, what was really cool was that my teammates realized what was going on. And so they're up and they're yelling for me and they're going nuts. So I didn't get 58, I got 60. And it's not only because of my mindset, it's also because of the will of my teammates. So I think that there's something to be said about mindset definitely helps, but it's also being able to control what you can. And so I knew that my chances of making that final roster for the Olympics was pretty much not going to happen for me. But I went out there every single day and I figured I can control my thoughts. I could go out there and have a positive attitude. I can enjoy every single moment with my teammates, right? And make memories and play a sport that I love and travel the world. And then I can come out here every single day and I want to play better than I did the day before. And, you know, when my coach called me in for that Olympic roster announcement, it's between me and a much younger, more talented player. And she said, you know what? I told the coaches back in January that you would never play for this team again, but you came out here every day. You never gave up. And for that, you've proven me wrong. She's like, you're a great teammate. You're coachable. And for that, you're making this Olympic roster. So it just goes to show you, not only did I not think that I was going to make that, but just by not giving up and not having any regrets, you know, the things that you can accomplish in life, they're pretty amazing.
Yeah, we come this way once, you know, let's go for it. Let's live in the moment. So kudos to you.
Thanks.
So Mark, over the course of your career, you endured 29 injuries. 29. So many people would say, wow, 29 injuries, 29 stumbling blocks. But you say no, 29 stepping stones. What kept you going and why?
Well, I think a couple of things. You know, I had 29 surgeries, not only injuries, but surgeries, many more injuries, the 29 surgeries over the course of my career. And I always think if your goals or your purpose in life isn't bigger than yourself, then you need to change your goals and your purpose. And so being a part of a team, much like what Heather was saying, was my number one factor. It's what really inspired me. I went out and I played for those guys that I played with. I went out and sacrificed for the guys that to me were more important than me, you know, and I always think about, like, you know, your personal mission statement. Like every company has a mission statement, but I think my personal mission statement, if I had one that I've really adhered to, it's Philippians 2:2-3, which says, Paul writing to the church of Philippi, he's writing from prison. And he says, make my joy complete by being of the same mind, united in love, united in spirit. Do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility of mind, treat others as more important than yourself. And that's the way I approached my career. It was my responsibility to go out and play regardless of how I felt, regardless of what my injuries were like at that particular point in time, because I owed it to everybody within that organization, whether it was my teammates, whether it was my coaches, whether it was my equipment managers, whether it was the guy who cleaned up our locker room, whether it was the trainers that patched me back up and the doctors that patched me back up. I always felt like those guys were the most important people on the team. And so that was kind of always my mindset. And really, it was the reason I had a purpose that was bigger than me. It was our team. And that's the reason that I could play. You know, I could have a surgery. I had a surgery on a Sunday night and checked myself out of the hospital Monday morning and started against the Raiders and beat them 27-0 Monday night, that next morning. So I rolled out of the surgery room at 11:30 at night. And I mean, and then I was out 11 the next morning, 12 hours later, checking myself out, heading to the stadium to play against the Raiders because it was that important to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's one of the things that people don't realize is we battle like heck, man, to get back for our teammates because, you know, feeling like I can't let that man down beside because I know he he's going to grind just as hard as I've grinded. And, I remember battling back from an ACL and a back injury. And, I wanted to be there. It wasn't about me. It was kind of my underdog theme where people have always doubted me and underestimated me. So, okay, I may not come back. Okay, somebody else I got to prove wrong so that I'm going out here for my guys.
The things that resonates with me with Heather, and she talked about her teammates cheering her on. I think the unity and the group faith that we have in one another that inspires you to continue on. That faith, and I always look at faith as a communal type thing. That faith that we grow together. That's what makes sports so beautiful. And I got chills when Heather was talking about her teammates cheering her on, because that's what we do for one another, right? Even though it's so competitive and you're trying to win, you're trying to make the team, like the same people that you're competing against are cheering you on.
Right.
That's the coolest thing for me.
Absolutely. Heather, you're standing on the podium. You've got a gold medal around your neck. I imagine that winning is so much sweeter when you consider what it took to be there. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, yeah, when you're actually standing up there in the podium, you're just kind of in awe of that moment. And you don't think about really everything that goes into it. And I don't know about Mark if he agrees with me or not, but you really don't sit there and think about it till you're done. When you're retired and you look back on it and you pull out those medals now, and I'm with my kids and I'm like, wow, it's amazing what it took to achieve that. You don't think about it when you're in the moment, because when you're an athlete, all you're thinking about is that next big goal. It's about winning that Olympics, or it's about winning a World Cup. You're not thinking about everything else until later on in life.
Right. And you're so right. And you look back on it and say, you know what? I was one of the best in the world at my sport. That is good. I haven't had that luxury. You both have, but I imagine that it's an amazing feeling to be the best in the world at something.
That is an amazing feeling, but I think more importantly is what Heather was saying, is the willingness to sacrifice for one another. And like, to be great, like there's a lot of really great players and there's a lot of really great teams. And there's a lot of, Joe Gibbs used to say this to us all the time when I played for the Washington Redskins. He would say to us, hey guys, listen, great athletes make plays in the first 3 quarters. Great character men win games in the 4th quarter. And, I think about world championships. I don't think about, hey, I was one of the best, or I don't think about any of that. I think about the sacrifices that we made for one another. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that's why it's hard to win, is because there are so many people who focus on themselves as opposed to, the organization, as opposed to the team. Mm-hmm. And that's the amazing part to me, is the selflessness it takes to actually put together championship organizations and championship runs.
Agreed. Heather, another one for you. You're a 5'4", a $120 soaking wet. You said you're not the most technically skilled soccer player, but you're one of 4 players in the sport to have 3 Olympic gold medals. What is the secret sauce?
I think it comes down to, and I talked a little bit about it before, it's mindset. It's going out there every single day and having the right mindset. And also, I think it's controlling what you can. It's a lot of things are going to be completely out of your control. So your thoughts, having a positive attitude, being a great teammate, being coachable, doing anything that your coach asks of you. It's also controlling your actions. It's being able to go into the training room and doing whatever it is to get healthy and to get back out there in the field. And if you're not playing, to be a good teammate and to cheer those players on. So when it is your opportunity, that when you're out there on the field, that you give it your all and you never regret any time that you have on that playing field. And then last but not least, I think you have to have heart. You have to love what you do in order to have success.
Awesome. Mark, you live your life with intentional gratitude, meaning you choose to focus on the good, because as you say, focusing on the negative just sucks. Why?
Well, I mean, you come to the realization of how blessed you are, and all of us have problems. Here's what I know about problems. As soon as you solve one, there will be another to take its place. That's life in general. And we can get so bogged down by focusing on the things that aren't right in our lives, the things that haven't gone well. Every one of us has had to overcome something that didn't happen for us, something that was incredibly disappointing. And I always choose to take this God's eye lens to everything. Okay, this didn't work out, but what can I learn? What's the stepping stone here in this disappointment in my life? And how can I grow that into something special? So every morning I take advantage. I do a devotional every single morning. It's part of what I do on my morning basis. The other thing I do is I take time to just be thankful. I take time in prayer every day to not focus on the things that are wrong, but just to focus on the things that are right. And the attitude the change in attitude when you approach your day from the standpoint of, oh my gosh, look at all these things that are wrong, to oh my gosh, look at all the things that are right. It just changes the way you interact with people, it changes the way you connect with people, it changes the way that your day goes. And so for me, it's vitally important to just have an intentional gratitude and a grateful heart for all the things that are right in your life.
Awesome. All right. If you had to share one tip or habit that you think everyone listening would benefit from today as a takeaway, what would it be? Heather, you first.
Well, I think it just goes back to what Mark was just saying, and I hate to repeat it, but it's about finding, if it's a negative situation, turning it into a positive, because I truly do believe that everything in life happens for a reason. So if you can find the positive out of everything that happens to you, then you're going to have success along the way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mark.
And again, I agree with that. The other thing is that you're not promised tomorrow. None of us are, and I've said this during this pandemic, 100% of the people who get COVID-19 are going to die. And 100% of the people who don't get COVID-19 are going to die. Come to reality, come to grips with that. We're all going to die. So don't waste your time. I try not to waste my time worrying about things that are out of my control. I try not to waste my time worrying about those that don't like me, I just don't. I want to make the most of my time. I always said this with my own kids when people would ask me, what did I do to spend quality time with my kids when they were growing up? And I said, anytime I put an hour aside to spend some quality time with my kids, they did something to piss me off. I go, it's not about that. It's about quantity time. I was just always involved. I never outsourced the raising of my kids. I was there 24/7. And in that quantity time, there are going to be slivers of quality that were great. So don't take it for granted. You're not promised tomorrow. Seize today and take advantage of it. And that's how I try to live on a day-to-day basis. I don't always succeed, but at least that's the mindset going in.
Love it. Love it. I think what we have to do is I believe in chasing greatness every day, and I think what I want folks to do is define what greatness means to you and then go after it 110% every single day. We truly give strength to the things we give energy to. All right. So let's give energy to love. Let's give energy to life. Let's give energy to positive things that are going on. Let's give energy to solutions. All right. So you guys are simply amazing. This half hour was energizing and left me with lots of things to consider. Setting a goal, staying competitive to benefit a team, and staying focused really stand out. I hope you all feel the same. I want to thank Kroger Health's Chief Medical Officer and Vice President, Dr. Watkins, and of course, both Mark and Heather for such a powerful discussion. I hope everyone who joined us today can take something from our conversation and apply it to their lives, and that you feel a renewed sense of focus and determination. Now, don't forget to check out heart.org/1heartbeat for this one, and that we'll be adding more in the next few months. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your continued support of the American Heart Association's life-saving mission. Remember to continue to chase greatness every day. Have a great rest of your day. Be well.